Hello, my dear friends. This is Grandpa Billy, and I'm so happy to share a new story with you. If you enjoy what I do, please support me with a like and a subscription. Your support is my greatest inspiration. And now, let's begin. Meet Biscuit, first day as an intern. He walked in like he owned the place, in a tiny bow tie and way too much confidence. Karen from HR dropped her coffee. Nobody blamed her. "Is that a dog?" whispered John. No one answered. Biscuit trotted straight to the conference room, climbed into a swivel chair, and barked once. That was the meeting now. Everyone just accepted it. Biscuit sat in on his first Zoom call. He didn't say much, just heavy breathing and the occasional sniff into the mic. It tried to mute him. He unmuted himself. Twice. Someone asked a question about Q2 projections, and Biscuit sneezed so hard the CEO laughed. "Best intern energy I've seen all year," he said. Biscuit stared into the camera like he knew exactly what he was doing. At lunch, Biscuit stole a turkey sandwich from the break room fridge. It belonged to Mark from finance. Mark was about to protest, but then Biscuit looked at him, really looked, and walked away slowly, chewing. Mark just sat down and nodded. "Fair," he muttered. Later, Mark said it was the best moment of his quarter. Biscuit burped during the team huddle. No one cared. Biscuit was added to Slack. Nobody knew who did it. His profile pic, a blurry close-up of his nose, status, woof. Somehow he started reacting to messages with the fire emoji. Sarah from marketing swore he heart-reacted her presentation. Biscuit never denied it. That night, someone printed Employee of the Month with his face and taped it to the wall. Biscuit joined the morning stand-up. He barked when Jake said synergy and sneezed when Linda mentioned deliverables. It felt intentional. People started interpreting his reactions like tea leaves. 1 bark =, good idea, 2 barks =, garbage. When he napped through Karen's update, everyone knew to drop the project. Karen never forgave him. On Casual Friday, Biscuit showed up in tiny sunglasses. No one knew where he got them. He strutted past the interns like he was running the place. Someone tried to take a photo. Biscuit turned slowly, tilted his head, and posed. The image was later used in the quarterly newsletter. Under it, the caption, "Team Morale Officer." Biscuit had a favorite chair. Leather, executive, slightly too big. One day, the CFO tried to sit in it. Biscuit barked once, the CFO backed away, no questions. Biscuit spun slowly, sat, and stared out the window like he was contemplating the stock market. People said he predicted the Q3 downturn. Charts were made. Biscuit ignored them. He wanted snacks. A client visited. Biscuit escorted them from the elevator. The client paused, confused. "Is that a dog?" Biscuit barked twice and walked ahead. They followed. Later in the meeting, Biscuit sat by the client's chair and snored softly. Deal closed. CEO said, "He's a closer." Biscuit got a biscuit. It felt symbolic. Someone ordered Biscuit a standing desk. It arrived with a tiny mouse and paw-sized keyboard. He ignored it. Instead, he sat on top of it, paws dangling off the edge like royalty. The VP walked by, paused, and saluted. Biscuit didn't respond. He was busy staring at a pigeon outside. It was probably business-related. During Fire Drill Friday, Biscuit led the evacuation. No training, no hesitation, just marched out with the confidence of a firefighter. People followed. He stood outside by the exit, checking faces like security. Janet forgot her ID. Biscuit barked once. She had to go back. It was later declared most efficient drill in company history. On a Monday, Biscuit refused to move from the printer. It was jammed. He just lay there watching it blink. Someone called it. They arrived, saw Biscuit, and left. "He's got it," they said. An hour later, the printer worked again. Nobody saw who fixed it. Rumor says Biscuit stared it into submission. Honestly, we believe it. Biscuit was spotted typing. Tiny paws, real keys. No one taught him. He was logged into Asana, assigned 3 tasks. One said, nap under desk. Another, investigate new chew toy supplier. People started completing them. Productivity increased. Biscuit never typed again. True leadership is delegation. He once disappeared for 2 hours. Panic spread. Slack was full of "Where's Biscuit" threads. HR called security, then he reappeared holding a single sticky note in his mouth. On it, team needs snacks. Office morale jumped 30%. The vending machine was restocked. Some say he saved Q1. No one doubted it. Finance tried to run a quiet budget review. Biscuit walked in mid-slide, barked once, and left. The meeting ended early. Everyone agreed. It felt right. Later, charts were updated to include a new variable, Biscuit adjustment factor. Nobody knows what it means, but revenue went up. Once a week, Biscuit just disappears into the CEO's office. Door closes. No one knows what they discuss. Afterwards, the CEO walks out looking calm, centered. Biscuit walks out with a new chew toy. Corporate secrets? Meditation sessions? All we know is business gets better every time. Biscuit's popularity reached outside the office. One day, a delivery guy showed up with a box. "Is this for Biscuit?" he asked. It was from Biscuit's fans. Inside, a custom-made office chair for a dog. Biscuit sat in it like it was a throne. He didn't look at us. We looked at him. We all knew he was a king. The meeting room started to get booked under Biscuit's name. Some called it Biscuit's boardroom. The first time the CEO held a strategic meeting there, Biscuit jumped up, wagged his tail, and immediately left. "He's got it under control," CO said. The meeting adjourned early. No objections. Biscuit once found a single rubber band on the floor. That was all it took. He spent 15 minutes tossing it, chasing it, and barking at it. Everyone stopped working to watch. No one interrupted. In that moment, Biscuit taught us the value of enjoying the small things. Or maybe we were just distracted. It didn't matter. Then there was the day the Wi-Fi went down. People panicked. Biscuit sat, calmly watching. When it finally arrived, Biscuit trotted over to them, sat at their feet, and waited. The Wi-Fi came back on. No words were exchanged, but it was clear. Biscuit had somehow orchestrated it all. Biscuit's presence in meetings became a mark of success. If he attended, the project was going smoothly. If he left, it was a sign to pivot. No one questioned it. One day, HR added him to the leadership team on Slack. We all agreed it was the best decision HR had ever made. The coffee machine broke. Biscuit barked. An hour later, it was fixed. No one questioned the connection. Later, someone tried to hire Biscuit for a freelance project. "The dog knows how to manage things," they said. Biscuit just kept napping under the desk. No comments needed. Biscuit got invited to a business conference. They asked for a brief bio. It said, "Biscuit the Intern, Marketing Specialist, Thought Leader in Positive Vibes." He attended, did not speak, and somehow still got a standing ovation. We don't understand it either, but Biscuit was smiling. One fateful morning, Biscuit ran a sprint down the hallway. He didn't stop at the end. He turned around and started again. He ran and ran and ran. We all watched, unsure of what was happening. When he stopped, he sat down. "Productivity unlocked," said the VP. Everyone agreed. The email system broke down. Everyone was confused. Biscuit calmly walked over to the printer and sat in front of it, staring at the blinking lights. Within minutes, the system was back online. "Biscuit's got it," whispered Sarah from IT. The rest of us just nodded. People began to refer to Biscuit as the consultant. He never gave advice, but when he sat in on a meeting, the room suddenly felt more focused. Projects moved forward with ease. We started to believe that maybe, just maybe, his presence was the key to success. Biscuit's influence spread to other departments. Design brought him a sketch of his own logo. Engineering built him a small office space, complete with a custom dog bed. HR started a Biscuit Day every month. It was the best day of the month. Everyone came together, and Biscuit, he just ate snacks. As quarterly reviews rolled around, Biscuit was the first to be acknowledged. The CEO stood up and said, "Without Biscuit, we wouldn't be where we are today." Applause. Biscuit didn't even look up. He was busy licking his paw, but everyone knew he was the MVP. One afternoon, Biscuit walked into the break room and noticed someone had left a plate of donuts. It was a trap. Biscuit grabbed one, ran out, and disappeared. The office rallied behind him. Who could blame him? It was the best donut. No one asked questions. It was Biscuit's. Biscuit's birthday became a company-wide event. The party was held in the break room with balloons, cake, and a huge banner that read, "Happy Birthday, Biscuit." He sniffed the cake, looked around, and walked off. We all celebrated anyway. After all, it was his day. Biscuit's legacy spread far and wide. We began hearing rumors that other offices were trying to replicate his success. A few hired dogs. None were Biscuit. As long as he was here, Biscuit was the only intern that mattered, and that's how it would always be. One day, Biscuit left the office early. People were worried. HR started an inquiry, but Biscuit came back with a briefcase. Inside, a contract. Biscuit had officially become the office mascot. His role was now Chief Happiness Officer. No one was surprised. We all agreed. He was perfect for the job. Biscuit once attended a leadership retreat. He didn't speak. He didn't even participate in the team-building exercises, but somehow he ended up winning the Best Leader Award. "He inspires us all," the plaque said. Biscuit took it with a wag of his tail. He didn't need words. The day we all thought Biscuit was going to retire, he showed up at the office with a new pair of glasses. They were tiny. They didn't fit him well, but they made him look even more professional. He looked around, nodded, and went back to work. We all agreed he wasn't retiring. He was just getting started. Biscuit didn't need a title. He didn't need recognition. But every time someone said, "Let's get Biscuit's opinion on this," the room would quiet. Everyone would listen. He didn't always answer, but the silence spoke volumes. Biscuit had earned his place and, more importantly, our respect. On a typical Friday afternoon, Biscuit would sit by the door looking out the window, as if to say, "I've done my work for the week." Everyone in the office would feel the same way. The weekend had arrived, and thanks to Biscuit, we were all ready for it. Biscuit's influence grew beyond the office. One day a client called for a meeting and specifically asked, Will Biscuit be there? He was. The deal was sealed. No words were exchanged, but Biscuit was the unspoken factor that made everything work. The company threw a celebration for Biscuit's 2-year anniversary. They handed him a gold-plated pen. He sniffed it, walked away, and curled up for a nap. "That's Biscuit," said the CEO, laughing. "He doesn't need gifts. He's the gift." Whenever someone new started at the office, the first thing they were told was, "You've got to meet Biscuit." The newer employees would always look confused, but soon enough they realized meeting Biscuit was the real initiation. It wasn't about the work, it was about the culture. Biscuit had his own office chair, and it was the best chair in the building. The boss didn't mind. In fact, the boss often found themselves in Biscuit's chair, reflecting on decisions, with Biscuit sitting quietly beside them. This is where it all started, they'd think. The day Biscuit retired was a day of mixed emotions. But even then, he left the office with a swagger. As he walked out the door for the last time, he turned and gave a long, slow look at the team. It was clear. Biscuit had done his job, and we would never forget it. Biscuit's legacy continued. Posters of him hung in every department, inspirational quotes, a statue in the lobby. He wasn't just an intern anymore. He was a symbol of something greater, something that couldn't be captured in words. Biscuit was part of the company's DNA. Years later, new interns asked about Biscuit. They heard the legends, the stories. Some said he was still out there, leading from afar. Others believed he had ascended to an office higher than any of us could imagine. One thing was for sure, Biscuit had changed the game. One day, an old photo of Biscuit resurfaced. He was standing proudly at his desk, surrounded by his coworkers. There was no need for words. The photo said it all. Biscuit had been more than an intern. He'd been a legend, and legends never fade. The CEO retired. In the final speech, they mentioned Biscuit. He was the heart of this company, they said. People wiped away tears. Some even sniffled. Biscuit's influence had stretched to the very top. It was his company as much as anyone else's. As the years passed, people would still mention Biscuit in the halls. What would Biscuit do, they'd ask. The answer? No one knew. But it didn't matter. The question itself was a reminder of how much one dog had changed the entire office culture. The final chapter was written. Biscuit had left a mark on everyone who knew him. The office continued to thrive. New dogs were brought in, but none could match Biscuit's spirit. He'd been the intern that changed everything, and his legend would last forever. Biscuit wasn't just an intern. He was the heart of the office. And after all these years, his legacy was still felt in every corner of the building. Every time we heard a bark in the distance, we smiled. Biscuit had left, but he would always be with us. At the end of the day, Biscuit's legacy was simple. He taught us all the power of presence, leadership without words, and the importance of a good nap. Biscuit didn't just work at the office. Biscuit was the office. And so we leave Biscuit, the intern who became a legend. His legacy lives on in the culture he helped build, in the laughs he shared, and in the lessons he taught. Biscuit is gone, but the office? It's better because of him. Biscuit may have left the office, but his paw prints are everywhere. From the first day he walked in to the last day he strutted out, Biscuit was a true intern, and no one would ever forget him. Years later, the office continued to thrive. and occasionally someone would still mention Biscuit. We'd all smile, nod, and think about the dog who made the office a little brighter, a little funnier, and a lot more legendary. Biscuit, the intern, the legend.